Last roller, good morning. Good morning, super. So, the whole idea of doing this panel discussion, yesterday I was being contacted by your student chair, Srinidhi, and I think session are you doing a presentation, something of that sort. Usually I do these presentations, I come up with some slides and then I come up with some topics. But then what I found is, like, all of us have different things that you want to learn from, right? And I personally also very curious about what are the things that you are interested in knowing or learning, okay? And I thought of doing it as a panel discussion because you can ask questions of regarding IEEE or anything of that sort. And then I'll be able to see if I can answer, or if any of you in this room can probably answer those questions, that will be helpful. One of those themes that I wanted to bring in today is, I don't know what are the questions they are bringing forth here, but definitely something that I want to touch upon is the power of community, right? When all of us are here together as a community, we are adding a lot of value. So so throughout the panel discussion, I want your involvement as well. Only if you are involved, it will be interesting. If you are going to keep talking inside, what I'll do is I'll stand up and come inside. Okay, that's what I'll usually do. This is the time only I'm sitting and doing this session because I thought you'll be interested to listen. Idea okay va? If it is okay, please raise your hands. Panel discussion pannalam. Okay, please put your hands down. Yeah, let's start.
Okay, so I now we first introduce ourselves. So first I invite Chidambaram to invite.
A very good morning to one and all present here. I am Chidambaram Rajaji from third year IEEE. It gives me a really great opportunity. This is a really great opportunity to interact with sir and to do a great networking. Thank you for this opportunity. Next, I request Nirindran to introduce himself.
Okay, so myself Niranjan Kumaris, as you all, I hope you all know me. So I'm the past chairperson of IEEE Computer Society Chapter, and also I'm also volunteering in several forums such as IEEE Extreme 17.4 Region 10 Lead, and also a student ExCom member of WAAG, and IEEE Madras Section Student Activities Committee PR mentor. So I feel this is much needed for the time because I hope while we were coming to our final year, retention of third year was very hard for us because they thought IEEE is only for conducting events and it's for there is none other use. So I want to make my voice here to clear about there are several opportunities and several initiatives. One such I have led and I have guided is IEEE site and Epics in IEEE, where our college got two projects, which is of $3,500 USD and $4,000 USD. In similarly Epics in IEEE, one such team was led by Mr. Chidambar Raja, and the other teams were led by Jnanabatne CK and Bhuvana, and another was led by Agrita of Civil Department. So there are even in non-circuit branches also in IEEE there are several opportunities. So it was made very loud and clear that there are opportunities. So I want here to the panel discussion. My point to sit here was that main point. So thank you for the opportunity to the present ExCom. Thanks.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jyotishri from IT department. I just want to know the answers for the question what I'm going to ask today, and to know about your experience that you gained through the ways you went through. So, yes, that's fine.
Hi sir, I am Praveen Kumar and I am from third year. And I have seen your video in TEDx that you have talked about a contextual education system for India. I have a few personal questions regarding the video, and also that I am one of the IEEE member in Computer Society, as Niranjan said. And I also thought only the IEEE is only for conducting events and just for conducting seminars and events. So that so I left that IEEE and I came to I started preparing for my interviews, and for that I left my IEEE. So that's all. Sir, exactly 4 years ago, you have published a video in TEDx regarding contextual education for system for India, and you have said that from LKG to 5th standard we are studying the basics and primary the knowledge we are getting for like alphabets and numerics, and 6th to 10th standard we are learning basic arithmetics. But in 11th and 12th, somewhat we are learning about cockroach digestive system and the calculus we are learning unnecessarily. And coming to the college, we are learning 42 subjects in engineering in the four-year degree. But we have not gaining in-depth knowledge about anything. Just we are going on like a summary, like an abstract. We are gaining like 42 subjects, we are touching upon the subjects, but not gaining an in-depth knowledge. So what we have to do to get like you have said in one of your examples, like if we have studied web development or app development for the 4 years, we will come out as a pro web developer or app developer after the 4th year degree. Then what is the use of studying the DBMS and OS and values and all? We will just study web development and app development for the rest of the 4 years now. So what is the remedy for the slavery system?
Okay, thank you.
Praveen.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Praveen. I think so. Praveen's question is based on the context. If you watch my TEDx talk, I probably can go home and search Aravindhan TEDx, and then you'll be able to find the talk. So that was what I spoke when I was 23 years old, with a very limited understanding. I was doing a Teach for India fellowship, where I was teaching 4th standard and 5th standard students. Right? I used to go to work as a full-time teacher as part of my fellowship, and then I got so much of insights from that specific thing. So going on those points, like what is something that we should do about education system? All of us are going to education system, right? I mean, even in the TEDx talk, I used to ask this question to the audience, and it was an interesting response. I'll also ask this question here. Okay, how many of you believe in rebirth? Rebirth, born again and again and again. Okay, nobody's believing. Okay, please put your answer. Okay, for now, just believe in rebirth. Okay, think that you're going to be born again. Think of it. I'm going to ask a further question. That's why I'm saying this. You're going to be born again as a baby again, okay? And if you want to go through the same education system that you have gone through now, like from your 1st standard, 2nd standard, 3rd standard, whatever you have studied, whatever things that you imbibed from your classroom, how many of you are interested? If you are born again and if you want to go through the same education system, how many of you are interested? Nobody's interested, right? Including me. But then imagine you are all going to become parents, like after some years, okay? And you will have your own child, and then the child will come to you, and then you will put them through the like the modern education system that we have now. And then you will be saying, if the child is not studying, what will you do? Similar to how our parents say, we also say, படிக்க மாட்டறல என்ன ஆகும் தெரியுமா, ஃபியூச்சர் என்ன தெரியுமா, இன்ஜினியர் ஆகணும் என்ன தெரியுமா, all these questions will ask, right? Now imagine we are not interested in doing the same thing. We are like, appa escape ஆயிடும். The people who are in finance would be realized now, by now. Like there's so much of freedom when you step out, and whether you're working or not working, or you're employed or unemployed, there's so much of freedom, right? There's nothing that binds you. But then the natural, if you look at a child before it goes to a school, it's naturally very joyful. It's enjoying like all those times that he or she has in the home with the relatives, with the parents and everyone. But then when you go to the school, you're always impacted by what will happen after doing the final examination, what will happen after all this test, right? And then there's so much of pressure that brings on us, and that affects us in so many ways, right? So one of those things what I'm thinking is, now currently I'm also studying for UPSC. Now I'm able to understand the perspective of government, why the government is doing like this, why Macaulay introduced all these systems way back in 1830, right? Now I'm able to get a picture of, by reading the medieval history and everything, I'm able to get an understanding of how as a country we have evolved and how this education actually came to picture, right? It's a very mass system, like it has to cater to so many people, and if there's no one point solution to it, this, right? But there is always some scope for us to do the things in our own way, and that will come a lot more with being more aware of these opportunities. For example, he's saying about web development, right? I should tell, if you are practicing web development for 4 years, I'll be a pro web developer and I can crack any interview for any company. But I'm studying all these different subjects, I'm also spending so much of time on all these things so that I don't get to develop these skills. But now you have an opportunity of being part of some society, being an IEEE. You can be a webmaster. There are some webmasters here, right? So what is his name? Raghu Bharati, yeah. Now he's now. So these people will have the automatic exposure. They can definitely write web development as a fourth skill in the resume. And when they go for that interview, it will be very easy for them, right? So this one, everyone should make use of it. So for changing the system at large, what I think right now my perspective is keep on evolving. I'm speaking to a lot of people, speaking to students like you to understand what is something that we can do. Is one thing we should bring that awareness, bring that a lot more consciousness way back when you are a child, so that when an opportunity emerges, you can grab it. You're not thinking, should I do it or not? When you have that opportunity, you should be able to grab it only when you will be able to do the things that you really wanted to do. So at a system level, we need to make a change. At an individual level, we also need to look in a way where we can look at the way of contributing and not just thinking about like what will happen after 3 months. What is the our happiness always depends on how much marks you are getting, right? But you're not enjoying the process of learning, not enjoying the process of attending the classes. That's the biggest, I would say, biggest mistake we are doing because of the lack of awareness. Like only the results will give us some happiness, but the process is not giving us happiness. Like for example, the people who are getting awards, they'll be doing so much of activity. Only when you enjoy this activity, the award will also be fruitful. The award is not the end point. The Richard E. Mervyn Scholarship or any award that you're getting, the process that you're doing, the nomination document that you're writing, the people whom you're interacting with, that's going to have a lot of value. I think we have to bring that awareness to the students. So that's something we need to do fundamentally at an education system level. Yeah.
Another one question, sir. Regarding the civil services, and I have asked my parents, ma'am, நான் வந்து BSc Maths படிக்கிறேன், நான் வந்து UPSC வந்து ட்ரை பண்ணுறேன். At the age of 18, I said. And they said, இல்லைப்பா இன்ஜினியரிங் படி, நல்ல லைஃப் நல்லா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னாங்க. அதுலேருந்து முடிஞ்சு நான் இருக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு அந்த மாதிரி. சரி, நான் இப்போ வந்து நான் பார்த்தேன்னா, இப்போ நான் உட்காந்து பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் தான் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். நான் UPSC ஆசை 18 வயசுல இருக்குது, இப்போ நான் 20 இயர்ல இருக்கேன். இப்போ அந்த ஆசை எப்படி சொல்றது, இப்போ நான் அந்த சுச்சுவேஷன்ல இல்லை. நான் வந்து இன்ஜினியரிங் படிச்சு இப்போ நான் பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் ஆகுற வழி இல்லை. ஏன்னா லேக்ஸாக நம்ம இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இப்போ போயிட்டு பரவாயில்லமா, நான் வந்து போய் நான் இன்ஜினியரிங் நான் போய் UPSC படிக்கிறேன்னா வீட்டில் அடிப்பாங்க, சரி என்ன இருப்பாங்க. அப்போ நான் என்ன பண்ணுறது, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஏஜ் நியர்லி 27 இருக்கும்ல, உங்களை எது மோட்டிவேட் பண்ணுது இப்போ UPSCக்கு நான் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு?
I think this is a question that so many people ask. So I went for this spiritual program at IEEE Computer Center. It's called Sadhana. It's an 8-month program. So after doing Teach for India fellowship, after wanting to start my own company, after working with the government for almost 15 months, and then I made, what is the point of like, in the went on to this program. No social media, nothing. It was like fully focused on internal growth, all these things. And then after coming back from the program, I was clueless. I was not sure what to do exactly. I was just coming here. And then, like after coming back here, one of those coaching centers called me. They are like, are you preparing? So I applied for this exam UPSC. Like I also returned this exam in 2021 without any preparation. I went to the exam center and I know only one question. Okay. So throughout, it was so hard. It was very hard. But then I couldn't prepare because I always had this fear of failure. What will happen? இது நடந்தா நம்ம ஒரு வருஷம் படிக்கிறோம். Suppose if I'm failing, what will happen? What will my relatives say? That's the most toughest question. If I'm going to say all your relatives, they'll be like, Maapla IAS ஆயிட்டாரு. They'll be saying like that. But then you will realize there's so much of pressure around it, right? The people who are preparing, they undergo so much of mental trauma, which I don't want to. I want to be living comfortably, all these things. But then after coming back from the program, they also called me. They asked me if I can attend a demo class. With the coaching center. Okay, so then I went down, sit on the last bench, and then I was seeing so many young people who are preparing. I think he was saying he had this aspiration 18, right? So many college students, when they're doing their morning batch or evening batch, they used to come and sit and attend these classes. Like for 3 hours it goes, like on different subjects. The day I was going on, it was about Indian Constitution. How many of you know about Indian Constitution? Yes, okay. Indian Constitution is a governing document that makes the entire country going. Okay, and then this I was seeing this, like the teacher who was saying like about this Indian Constitution, and one of those articles they were saying the people who have written the Constitution, they said the people of the country should work without looking for any economic well-being. Okay, they should be able to contribute to the society without looking for economic well-being. The teacher was immediately asking everyone, யார் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணுவா? எகனாமிக் வெல்பீயிங் இல்லாம யார் பண்ணுவா? நீங்க சம்பளம் கொடுக்கலாம் வேலைக்கு போவீங்களா? நீங்க போவீங்களா? நான் போவேனா? Nobody will go. But why are we doing this? And then this was the question that was being asked. And then I was wondering, because in my experience for the past 8 months, where I was in the Isha Yoga Center, I saw around 4,000 full-time volunteers, like, who are not looking for any commitment. They are just going and doing every day. They're doing so much of work, right? But then only when you realize a few things, you will be able to understand this is possible. Everyone should be able to get to this level. And this is what our forefathers have said 75 years ago. if you are not taking any effort today towards making this come alive, you won't be able to do it anytime, right? Otherwise, you'll be just going around chasing something. No, everything is already here. Only when we see, we make people see that reality, they'll be able to do whatever they are doing very joyfully. So that day, it was very awestruck for me. Our forefathers have already seen this reality, that we should be able to create a society, we should be able to create a country of that specific sort. That day really motivated me, okay, I'll definitely go for this. And then another thing also came up. I'm usually I would say champion of soft skills. Wherever I go, I always say you have to prepare for content writing, you have to prepare your design, video editing, learn all these skills. It's going to be useful for you throughout your life. This is what I say to everyone. But then after coming back, I saw this emerge of ChatGPT. Right? It's writing. What happened to all our content writers? It's writing content. I was reading another website which creates graphic design. There's another website that creates videos. So eventually, what will happen is artificial intelligence has so much of intelligence, it will get all the work done in a much more faster way. And what will really happen is we need to awaken our own real intelligence, not just intellect, just learning something and then using the same thing and doing. We have to awake up, like whatever we are seeing as our own innate nature, that should come out, and we should be able to sit peacefully, right? Without chasing something, without doing something. Now, the biggest problem is if we are not doing any internal work or something that we do to enhance ourselves, we won't be able to sit in a place for like 10 minutes continuously. You go and try today, okay? Go try today before going to sleep. Just simply sit for 10 minutes. It will be very hard. It needs a lot of practice. So only when you have that patience within you, the internal intelligence will come away, and then you will be able to do something. Then I realized, okay, I'm not going to chase those soft skills now. Let me prepare for this. And then another interesting thing came up. When I was doing this UPSC coaching, the coaching center people were asking me, what service you want to go into? Then I'm like, no, I want to study now. I want to learn now. At this point, I want to learn. I want to understand all these subjects, which I had no experience before. For example, the economics or all these things. They're like, okay, what service? That let the government decide. I'll do the examination. Whatever that comes up, that will definitely go, right? And it involves a lot of factors. But studying, it's according to me. So I'm having a great time actually waking up early in the morning, going for those classes and learning so many new things every day, right? If you learn economics, you'll understand how the money has evolved. People just don't know, like they're chasing after this paper without knowing what essentially is the meaning. If you know the meaning of currency is equivalent to the respect and trust towards the government. If you look at why the value of Indian currency is less compared to US dollars, it is with respect to the value of the government in itself, the trust in the government in itself. For example, if the Indian government gets collapsed, and people have much more trust on the American government, because they are well versed in so many things. That's why their currency value is more. People used to print these currencies based on all these gold reserves. That time has gone. Now there's a lot of things called as fiat currency. People are just printing currency and then they're putting it on the economy. So I also used to have this question of because you asked about UPSC, I'm saying all these interesting things. I'm saying all these things which are very curious to me. I used to think like as a child, எல்லாரும் காசு அடிச்சு கொடுத்துடலாமே, எதுக்கு வந்து இடையில இருக்காங்க, எல்லாரும் பணத்தை பிரிண்ட் பண்ணி நாசிக்ல போய் பிரிண்ட் பண்ணி எல்லாரும் காசு கொடுத்துடலாமே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. But then now I'm realizing when you print a lot of currency and when you give it to the people, there's something called as inflation. Okay, so all these currencies will start chasing very few goods. That's why when you have a lot of currency within the economy, what will happen is a lot more people will start buying things and then the demand will get higher and then all the prices will go higher. So you need to know these things. Like for a country to grow, printing currency is not a solution. All of us should be able to contribute in our best. The overall production in terms of goods and services by the country, which is called as the GDP, should be higher. Only then our country will emerge. Right? We have around 140 crores of people. The solution will be all these people waking up in the morning and doing their best. Right? And we, as a government, we should be able to come up with some such policies so that we can enable these things. So these things really fascinate me at this point. So that's why I'm doing this. That's really motivating me.
Sir, can you share the experience that you gained through entrepreneurships?
Okay, so the interesting why I wanted to do entrepreneurship, I'll share first of all. I wanted to do something on my own. Like being a volunteer, I always had this privilege of leading a lot of teams, right? Where I used to give them some work, allocate some work, and then get it done. And towards a larger vision, right? It's not a vision that I set, like it's not something that I tell them, but it's towards a larger vision. People will definitely come and they'll work, they'll also contribute. But then like I thought, how it will be if I want to do a startup on my own, raise funding, do all these things. So this was the thought before I went for a special program, and then I was doing this for almost around 8 months during the COVID times. So it was a lot of struggle, right? Just to see, I was getting employed, I was getting a monthly income, okay, for some point. Just to come out of that cycle is itself a huge thing, like because your mind is trained in a way, 30 தேதி சம்பளம் வந்துரும், correct? But for you to come out and say, okay, let me do something on my own, it requires a lot of courage, and especially around all these relatives, all these people who are around your friends, all these people. So to come out of that was a huge thing, and for me, I started something called as EduRise. Okay, so this is an initiative that I started without any idea. Again, wanted to try out the new things, and then I started doing some kind of trainings. Okay, so we just launched a poster. We are going to do an online training on Canva, and then around in 4 to 5 days, there's one sign up that came up. And then I was very curious. That was the first income that I'm getting as an entrepreneur. So what I did was I actually conducted the workshop for the one person. Okay, and then I did that entire thing, and it was a learning experience for me. And then I went on to do further a lot of workshops. I started my own YouTube channel. I understood what are different types of revenue that you could build as an entrepreneur. Right? It's not only about one. You're not going to do only one kind of selling. You're going to do advertising. You can do so many things. And for me, that experience that I had in 8 months, was really helpful for me when I went to the government again. I was working with the government of Tamil Nadu, and during this time, whatever skills I was learning here during my entrepreneurship journey was really helpful. And again, for doing entrepreneurship, I was able to easily pick people from my IEEE circle. I took 2 of my juniors who were interested towards me. So these are ways how you can use your IEEE network, right? You are working with a lot of people here. Use this as an opportunity. If you are thinking of doing some kind of startup, just get started. And now I'm realizing even the government is pushing for Startup India, right? They're doing so much of investments on these startups, and you can register a company, I think, just by 5,000 rupees by going to the government websites. Like if you are looking for some kind of a consultant, it's available for 15,000 rupees. So these are experiences that we should definitely build, right? Ultimately, going back to the first point of UPSC, where I was talking about how our country will emerge, how our country's economy will emerge into a big thing, only when we start generating employment and then we start selling to the world, right? We have to import a lot of goods and services to the world. That's when what will happen is we will get all these forex money inside our country. That's when the country's natural thing will grow, economy will grow. So what I think is, as an entrepreneurship, it gave me the perspective of running things on my own, taking up new initiatives, setting up a vision, setting up a team, and also managing a team, managing the pressure of it, right? Because you don't know what will happen next. Because you need to keep adapting to new things. That was my interesting entrepreneurship journey. But now I think like the government is the biggest company in the world. So now my perspective lies on, okay, let's run the biggest company. So that's what I think. Yeah.
Hi all. So my question is related to Niranjan Anand's point. Before that, I would like to share a quick story. Yeah. So in my first year, when I joined IEEE, my friends and I also had an opinion that we pay and we work. That was our opinion. But then later on, while doing volunteering, I came to know that it is not just paying and working, it's like building our soft skills. So I learned to communicate and I spread my network, and I learned how to write a content for welcome address or anything, any kind of content. So it helped me develop my inner self. After first year, I thought we can give a break for IEEE, and then I just did not renew it in my second year. But in the beginning of my third year, as Anna told, I got the opportunity to serve as the additional project lead in IEEE site projects. And at that time, I had a feeling like KGF 2 dialogue marna, IEEE loves me, I can't avoid. So, அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருந்தது. ஸோ நான் வந்து சைட் ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்காக நான் IEEE மெம்பர்ஷிப் ரினியூ பண்ணிட்டு, and then I participated in the site project. After that, not stopping with site, I got another opportunity to participate as a team lead in Apex project, and we got funding for that as well. So sir, my question is what are the other opportunities? They have a mindset that some of us have a mindset that it is only for paying and working, volunteering. what are the other opportunities that we can access in IEEE?
Okay. So other opportunities, I would say there's so much of scope, right? I used to say what are the things that I was doing when I was maybe in my third year of computer science and engineering, okay, with IEEE. The one thing is, I definitely go every day and read what is there in this IEEE website. I used to go to every society's website, read every page of it, what they really offer. Not only these scholarships, these activities, these are very small aspect of IEEE, right? What you will realize, there is so much of technological advancements that's happening, right? I mean, this year we are in 2023. I remember when I was a student, there was this report called as CS 2022 report or something. Okay, so this was in 2014. But IEEE Computer Society has already predicted what are going to be the emerging technologies 8 years ago. Okay, we used to have this virtual reality, all these kind of sessions when I was in 2014. Now it's coming up like so much, right? But these technological advancements is something that you will be able to understand because you are an IEEE member. And again, as a student chapter, we used to have this initiative. Like every year, every week, we will have one student speaker coming and presenting in front of the audience about an emerging technology. Like I was talking about Google Glass, and then there was someone else who was talking about Office 365. These are things that's happening now, but by the time it was a lot of learning for us. So these initiatives helped us to update ourselves technically, right? I still remember when I went for this which interview, Cognizant interview. Yeah, Cognizant interview. They were asking me this question of what's the first question in the interview? Tell me about yourself. Okay. So they asked me this question of tell me about yourself. And then because I had this IEEE experience, including technology, including managerial, I was able to tell them continuously speak and speak. And then I don't know how time has went. I think probably I spoke for some 10-12 minutes. The next question they asked me is, okay, we are done. Do you have any questions for us? They didn't ask me any cross questions, nothing. They were only hearing my story. I was sharing about so much of interesting technologies that I was learning. So what are activities that I was doing with IEEE? What are the things I was able to achieve? And then I'm like, okay, I didn't have any questions. The interview got over. I came outside. Okay, so this was this glass door. Okay, where we have to go inside for interviews. And like my next roll number person was sitting next to me. And then he was asking me, hey, what question I'm like, they just asked me, tell me about yourself. I don't know, question technical question, jolly. The moment he went inside, the first, I think after 2 minutes or something, he was being given a paper and he was writing some code. And then after coming back, he was like cursing me. It was like they're making us writing code. That's when I got to know it's a technical interview. I didn't know it was technical. I thought it's some kind of a HR interview where you just keep speaking and they'll understand you as a person, right? So why I'm sharing this is whatever technological thing that I was learning with IEEE, whatever things I was able to understand as a perspective, there's something called IEEE Spectrum. It's a magazine and it covers all the advanced technologies. If you go to that website and see one technology at least a week, you will be able to understand so much about what's happening in the current world, right? So when you have this as a part of your story in itself, there's no need for them to ask what are the emerging technologies, because I'll be sharing 5 technologies to them, right? These are opportunities that IEEE provides you. One thing I would say is you are a third year student now, right? This is the ideal time for you to actually step up and do things that you have never done in your college life before. Start writing a paper, start presenting a paper, apply for a conference, go and attend a student congress event. Do so much more, right? Because you have very limited time. When you go to final year and then you will be under this project belt, I would say. You will be like, what project you are doing, what technology you are doing, who is guiding you. So there's so much of things that will happen. Third year or the pre-final is the ideal time for you to explore different things. And this is when you will also get a clarity of what you're going to do after your final year. Right? Again, going back to this thing, this is the time I was doing this volunteering with IEEE, and then what happened was I also used to go to these schools, and then I found the problem of education system being very interesting. And again, through IEEE volunteering only. That's why I was able to make a choice. Even though I got selected for Cognizant, I chose Teach for India. If I hadn't explored all these things, then I ended up going on a corporate world, which is also great, right? If you have interest, the only thing I'm saying is you should be able to make a conscious choice. You should explore different things when you are a student, so that you are making a choice. Okay, this is what I'm interested on, right? And that will keep changing. I also seen people who are working on corporates for like 5-6 years, coming and working for Teach for India, coming to the government. So things will keep changing, but at least when you complete a student, you should have some clarity of what you're doing. Okay, so that That's also something that IEEE can give you. Apart from that, what I would say, networking is a huge part. I used to attend these section level events. Our principal sir is the section chair right now. They will do so much activities at the Koturpuram IEEE Madras section office. So in the college bus, like instead of going to Ramapuram where I used to stay when I was studying in college, I used to go to Koturpuram after the college along with my friends. And then we attend those technical lectures. You will understand nothing, okay? After going there with the limited knowledge that we have, they'll talk about all these things in the world, the technological advancements and all, we won't understand nothing. But then that's nice food there, okay? After the session, they'll give us nice food. But when you slowly start making those connections, right, with the professionals, you will slowly start evolving. Okay, this is what that's happening, and then you'll be able to make those connections. When I think there's a paper called Computer Networks. Yeah, I think it talks about IEEE standards, right? Yeah, I think that's which one of those papers talks about IEEE standards. The moment 802.11 about the Wi-Fi, all these things. The moment that comes into picture when they're teaching on the class, by that time I know about what all these things are all about because I was in IEEE. So make use of those opportunities, make use of the networking opportunity, the technical learning opportunity. It's not only about contributing. Contributing is a small aspect, community aspect, but what IEEE offers is a world of knowledge and wisdom going forward.
Thank you, sir. So the thing that I got from your point is that there are major technological stuff in IEEE. We are just focusing on the small bit that we are.
Even people talk about IEEE as a society which gets a lot of membership fee, right? If you look at IEEE's budget, I've attended this global meetings, board series that happens in the that happened 2018 in Vancouver, and then I was really shocked to see a very small portion of IEEE's revenue comes from membership. It's not even, I would say, more than 20% if I'm not wrong. It's a very less amount, right? That technological, whatever advancement they are making, that's bringing a lot of revenue because IEEE is known for the technological advancements. So you should also make use of that aspect and try to learn new things. That's all.
Thank you, sir. So one more question, sir. Does IEEE sponsor entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs? Is there any opportunity in that?
Yeah. So there's this committee called as IEEE Entrepreneurship Committee. There's a committee. They support not by finance, but they'll help you get those ideas, they'll help you get those mentorship. For example, I was attending something called as a Founders Hour. So this is a 1 hour session with a mentor who will help you to probably fine tune your ideas, fine tune your execution of a startup. And that was helpful for me to, as starting up, right? That was helpful for me to build a perspective. And IEEE doesn't provide funds at this point, but they can help you with the connections, they can help you with bringing those skills into the place, whatever that you're doing. And the committee is also trying out new things. I think they have active volunteers who have already done entrepreneurship before, and they're guiding those people. If you go to the website, you'll be able to find a lot more things. IEEE Entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, so I have this clarification. To answering to each point, how entrepreneurship could be, IEEE could help entrepreneurship. So I was to this All India Student International Women Engineers Like Tutors Congress, so ISWC. So where I met IEEE India Council YP Vice Chair, Mr. Sahim Becker. He is the current Vice Chair. So where he was one of the entrepreneurs, he has some venture or startup. So where I took his contact, where I met him, I took his contact, where I always I always aspire to be an entrepreneur. I don't know how it has come. Maybe like I coming to IEEE. After coming to IEEE, the best part of IEEE Computer Society was they were giving opportunities to even the lower level volunteers means basic level volunteers who have joined to take initiatives. Through which only I have been in the position of past chair, where I did. So from where my aspiration also have become like I should also become entrepreneur. Where I got the confidence of becoming like I can manage a team. I can interact with someone. I can make it everything. So with this idea, I went to him and asked how to make a startup. With a simple question: how to make a startup, how to build a startup, and what are the pathway to build a startup. So where he said some of the insights where I could process. This is to his point of answer. So my question here is, IEEE has several initiatives where we can check IEEE Climate, where YP Climate Task Force and IEEE Move outreach and all those. So where as I was last week, me and my friends and myself were traveling to some places, and when we are getting back, they were asking me, "You have got Richard Emerging Scholarship, and you are the current, you are the at the time current chair. So at that time, you have done some of the events where you have got side project, where you have guided some of the teams and all those. Then also, why you are still in IT?" So this question, and wherever I went to, like they used to call me in my first year and second year, they used to call me instead of my name, they used to call me IEEE only. Where this was my both, I couldn't tell this as both positive and negative. Later, when the nomination of becoming the next EXCOM came, so my friends said, some of my friends shared that he is going to become a chair. So they started now they are still calling me chair. So all this has been done, but still there after which I got for some of my friends got Richard Emerging Scholarship. Where they asked me, why did you take? You are working, why did you take? So they got, so I said there are some limitations that I couldn't do. So next I got Richard Emerging Scholarship. Okay, I from that time I thought they will stop their some type of rumors. After which they said only events are being conducted in IT, nothing else. So after that I gone through some of the newsletter site where I am one of the site member which is free. So I got to, and where I searched for site where I initiated and led the team. Now we are building. We are going to start a project. So after that, will they stop talking about it? Then also it has been not been done. Still they were talking. Only events are being conducted in IT. Okay, so if I go to some international levels where they say I love to travel. So where I got an opportunity to be an Spanish speaker in Pune. So where I traveled with one of my junior Srinidhi and some of the college members. We traveled and we get there, and I have been got I know how much. So I posted all those, and then I expected them to stop. Still they are not. Still they were calling me chair, IEEE, you are still conducting events, you are still doing JRT, you are still doing this. Will you get some rest? I thought I enjoy working here. I enjoy volunteering here. Last time also yesterday also I went to IEEE Madras section Industrial Forum where I met Infosys HRs. So they were very interactive with me where other IEEE volunteers have been, other non-IEEE members or IEEE members also didn't get that opportunity. So how to make it clear that IEEE as a venue or open venue for each and every basic volunteer to volunteer, and also how to build a further steps in IEEE, and also how to build a career. So these three are my one question in 3 years. So that's all.
Okay, so I think to start off, I think there's so much of focusing about how to make people stop the sex doing those rumors, right? There's only one way to stop. Okay? Don't try to stop it. Like, just enjoy it. Right? People are talking about it. That's so much fun, man. People are spending so much of amount doing marketing. If you look at those companies, okay? Here somebody is doing a few of free marketing. You have to learn to enjoy it. The second thing, people always do this, have these misconceptions because two things. One, because we didn't communicate it to them in the right way, or they are too full of themselves, they are not able to understand something. Okay, the two of these problems exist. So what we can do for us communicating to them? Okay, so this is the same problem. I also used to be a student volunteer, right? In my department, not only the students, even the staff, they'll be very angry on me. They'll be like, why are you going always to the IEEE department and then doing something in IEEE? IEEE also has IEEE. Then I'm like, IEEE Computer Society, sir, Computer Science Department, sir, and there's nothing working. But then what I also tried to do was try to understand what are their needs. For example, I'll tell you, like in my class there are only 3 IEEE members out of the 40 students out there, right? But in the final year, like everyone has to download an IEEE paper, and then they would need some kind of an assistance. By that time, I didn't go and tell them, and then I used to really go and help them. For example, I helped my friends build their resume, and you won't believe some of the students, when they are finishing up their final year, they were joining IEEE. I'm like, hey, I've been telling you from second year, why didn't you join? Why are you joining now? But then they told me, now only I'm finding the value. Because see, all of us need to show a resume at the end of the day, right? When you go for a placement, you need to show a resume. If you don't do anything for 4 years, what will you write there? What will you write? That's my question, right? If you're not interested in any activity, right? If you're not doing any kind of contribution, if you're not interested in any professional society, what will you write? You will write all the movies that you watched, right? You need to write a resume at the end of the day, right? It is a serious issue, right? Because I don't want like any student to go and think on your final year, அப்பயே பண்ணிருக்கலாம், அப்பயே அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, we could have studied. This is the time, right? It's not about getting the membership, it's about doing something when you are a student, okay? So I would also encourage everyone to use this as an opportunity to grow your profile in some way, so that you can do your own resume, right? I remember during my student life, people are just sending resume, they're changing names and then they're giving. Nobody is going to look at this resume, right? Believe me. You have to grow your profile, you have to use this as an opportunity for you to contribute and learn. And I'm talking about IEEE, only people will understand only when you start doing things. For example, Sri Sairam Engineering Scholarship was won by my senior. If there's nobody applying for the scholarship, right? All of us wouldn't have been aware. Only by looking at those seniors, so I applied for the scholarship and then I didn't receive for the first time, I received for the second time. There's so many juniors who applied and then the message spread over and then IEEE was happening. So you need to do something unique. That's why I said go and read those IEEE websites. There's so much more. Come up with some initiatives which will enhance the people's ideas, but don't worry about all these rumors. Enjoy the rumors, please. Like don't think about it. If people are talking about it, it's a free marketing for you. So you just enjoy it and be with it. Yeah.
So one more query, sir. Guys, I'm representing all of you.
You guys can also ask questions. If you raise your hand, I think they'll give a mic to you. I'm also interested in listening from questions from you guys. Yeah, you go ahead.
First வந்து I don't want to spend I don't want to invest 2 lakh on my son. இப்போ வந்து 2 lakh வந்து நான் just இந்த மாதிரி ஆப் இப்போ எக்ஸாம்பிளுக்கு இப்போ money is running at 2 km per hour and the tree is 30 km apart. That if the tree fall, money will die. இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்லாம் நம்ம எடுத்து காசு கட்டி படிக்கணும் தேவையில்லாம. நம்ம இப்போ சப்போஸ் ஒரு வீட்டுக்கு நம்மள ஏதாவது ஒரு பிரச்சனைனா ஒரு மணி கிரைசிஸ்னா அந்த நேரத்தில் அவனோட காசு இல்லாட்டி அவன் சப்போஸ் ஒரு ஸ்டாக்கை பற்றி அவனுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா அவன் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணி அது மூலியமாக அவன் ஃபேமிலியை காப்பாற்றலாம். இப்போ ஏதாவது அவனுக்கு ஒரு ஏதாவது கூன்ஸ் ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை பண்ணால் ரியல் லைஃப்பில் அவனுக்கு கராத்தேவோ வேறு ஏதாவது தெரிஞ்சு அதை வச்சு அவனை தப்பிச்சிக்கலாம் இல்லை அவனை காப்பாற்றிக்கலாம். எதுவுமே சம்மந்தம் இல்லாமல் நம்ம ஏன் ஆப்டிடியூட் இந்த மாதிரி என்ன சொல்கிறது நம்ம ஃபார்முலா மனப்பாடம் பண்ணுறது தேவையில்லாத ஃபார்முலாஸ் மனப்பாடம் பண்ணி கால்குலஸ் இன்ன வரைக்கும் அதை நம்ம எங்கே யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. கால்குலஸில் எதுக்கு படிச்சதே தெரியல. அதாவது வந்து ஜஸ்ட் பிகாஸ் சும்மா ஒரு 80-90 வாங்கினதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு மேக்ஸ் வாங்கினதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம இன்ஜினியரிங் சேர்த்து விட்டுறாங்க தேவையில்லாமல். ஆனால் யாருக்குமே முக்கால்வாசி யாருக்கும் விருப்பம் தான் வந்திருக்க மாட்டேங்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஆனால் இப்போ நம்ம ரியல் லைஃப்பில் யூஸ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி நம்ம சப்போஸ் ஸ்டாக்ல இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுறதோ நான் பேசிக்காக சொல்ல வருது ரியல் லைஃப்பில் நம்ம என்ன கற்றுக்க போகிறோமோ அதை நம்ம கற்றுக்காம நம்ம 4 இயர்ஸ் தேவையில்லாமல் வேறு ஏதாவது பண்ணுறோம் அப்படிங்கிற கருத்து இருக்குது. இப்போ நம்மளுக்கே ஒரு எல்கேஜி போகும்போது இப்போ உள்ள இயரில் 2 lakhs 3 lakhs வாங்குறாங்க. நான் எதுக்கு ஒரு 2 lakhs 3 lakhs கட்டி இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு எம்ப்ளாயி கிரியேட் பண்ணுவோம் என்னோட அடுத்த ஜென்ரேஷனுக்கு. அதுக்கு பதிலாக நம்ம வேற என்ன பண்ணலாம், நம்ம என்ன படிக்க வைக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிறது என்னோட யோசனை.
Okay, so see that's one thing about all those questions. I also used to have this question. I was recently having this conversation with my friend. Okay, couple of days ago we were I was meeting all my school friends. Then I was asking them, "Inga, I saw the integral calculus. Show me the place." And then my friend who is working on this mobile processing, he was saying integral calculus life is useful. I think he was saying all this formula only was helpful. Now I was asking, hey, on the upper limit, lower limit, integration of dx எல்லாமே யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா ஆகுது. Then seeing it's useful. எப்படி போட calculation போட்டு காமி. And then he's like, no, I go to a calculator and do it. Then I'm like, calculator தான பண்ண போறோம். இதுக்கு எதுக்கு இவ்வளவு நேரம் படிச்சோம்? But then I feel like some percentage of people are using it. For example, people who are doing research, people who are doing like all these R&D works, right? Very small percentage. But what I would say is, imagine you have 24 hours of time, right? And you're using this 8 hours in college, okay, which is something the curriculum they have given us and they're studying. You can spend the rest of the time learning investments. You can spend the rest of the time doing your finance. All I'm saying is, don't think I will do it tomorrow. I will do it after finishing engineering. No, tomorrow will never come. Tomorrow is never coming in life. Okay, only there's today and today. Whatever you want to do, just go and give it a shot. ask someone, right? If you want to learn about finances, just go and ask another person on your Facebook or your LinkedIn, how can I get started? Everybody will be open to helping you, right? We always have this thing of, I don't have this time. No, we have all the time in the world. That's why I think I was giving these quotes to different people. The one of those quotes I've written, if you spend time for others, you will have all the time in the world. Okay? Because most of the time what we are doing is we are just sitting and thinking, what will happen? Okay? So you start thinking about what can I contribute, and then there's so much of time in the world, you will be able to finish every work, right? And then with respect to what is something that we can do at a systemic level, there are some changes that needs to be done. I'm also exploring, I'm also learning, and if you have any suggestions, you can also tell me. This is a learning process for me. But as an individual, there is so much of scope, because I learned so many things apart from my whatever that I studied in my computer science engineering, all the soft skills that I learned, including the content writing or graphic design, web development, all these things I was able to learn. I ran my own staff, like one website when I was a student. This is a very interesting story. So that is this, they used to get these domains in my college, okay. Everybody can access a domain, and then I was doing something called as cscforever.com. So this was the website that I registered, and then what I'll do, that's the cycle test that used to happen, right? I'll be taking those cycle test model question paper, and then I'll prepare answers for this, and then I'll post on this website. And then I never tell anyone who created this website. Okay, so people will be going and searching. Because I started searching, someone also started searching cscforward.com, and then they'll go to this website, they'll download the model question paper, and then my students, the people who are sitting next to me on my bench, they'll read that. And then they'll be like, in the website, like daily they are posting whatever that's helpful. I never told anyone, because I want to pilot and see how is it working. So this particular model. And then on one of those days, they're like, some of the answers is incorrect, whatever they have posted. But no blame came on me, because I didn't reveal that I was the person who was posting. And then they also went to the professors and everyone, but after that I didn't have that time. So there is so much of scope, right? You don't need to do everything formally. There's so much of scope for you to learn, so much of things that you can do. But one more thing before we are concluding, I think this is the point that I want to touch upon. Guys, the time for artificial intelligence has come up. The only way that we can survive in this world is just going to focus on your own intelligence, right? What I mean by your own intelligence is bringing your body, your mind, your emotion, and your energy to the best level. I didn't realize this for 27 years. Though I learned yoga practices long time back, I didn't continue the practices. I'm always like looking after something, going after some award. But then now only I'm realizing this is the best thing that can happen to you, right? Invest some time on you, okay? Take up some practice, not only yoga. I think one of your seniors is doing karate. Take up something for you and do it for your own. If you can't do anything, if you are not interested in anything, just simply sit for 15 minutes peacefully. That's called meditation, okay? Start practicing those things, because this is a time to invest on yourself. If you keep on investing on the external world, you will go to some places, but you won't achieve the whatever place that you want to go. So invest some time on you. This is the time, because only when your intelligence starts opening up and you start doing things on the world, it will be helpful, because whatever the rest of things the artificial intelligence can do. Okay, you'll realize what I'm saying maybe after 5-10 years, or even now with ChatGPT coming up. Okay, so spend some time on you, do some little bit. If you are not interested in yoga, you can also do other things. If you are interested in yoga, I would strongly encourage you start doing some practices. I won't believe I'm a person who will never wake up like before 6 o'clock in the morning. I used to be awake all through the night, watch my computer screens and everything, and then I'll go for the sunrise at Marina, I'll come back and sleep. Okay, after that only I'll sleep. So I used to be a person like this. But after doing all these yoga programs, I'm naturally waking up at 3 o'clock. I can't believe who was the older person that I used to be, right? All these things are possible. These are possible with Indian yogic science, again with these glasses. Okay, I used to have this power of 0.5. After doing yoga consistently for 6 months, I was able to see even without glasses. I went to the ophthalmologist and then they were suggesting like all these things are not possible on English medication. Only because you are doing this intensively, you are able to do it. So then they were suggesting don't remove glasses all of a sudden. You will slowly start doing it. So I'm saying all these things because you should also spend some time investing on yourself. That is going to be the most crucial thing ever. If you are doing your final year, start doing some kind of things. Yeah. On that note, thank you.